Hi, my name is Toy Hirschman and I'm with America's Entrepreneurial Schools. I'm the one guiding you through this video today. In about 6 minutes, I'm going to explain to you the how and the why of becoming an America's Entrepreneurial School. At the end of the day, America's Entrepreneurial Schools is an award or a designation for any school who can bring some level of entrepreneurship programming to every student in the building during the course of a school year. It is a lot simpler to implement than it sounds. In fact, it doesn't take that much heavy lifting on a teacher's part, but is so incredibly powerful for kids. So I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're joining me, and stick with me for the rest of the video. Come on.
When we talk about entrepreneurship education, people generally tend to think about some of those big courses like business and marketing, financial literacy, economics, some of those things you find towards the end of high school. That's not really what we're talking about here. We're talking about building entrepreneurial mindsets in students from pre-K on so that they're intrinsic. So it's not something that they think about, it's something that is part of who they are. And some of these, and this only scratches the surface, are what you're seeing here. These are things like value creation, innovation, knowing your strengths, knowing leadership, having leadership skills, being able to communicate, global awareness, tackling challenges, and failure adverse, my favorite. If you're not afraid to fail, you can only succeed. This is such a great quote because it's so true. We talk about young people, students going into the workforce, into jobs that don't even exist yet, career fields that we can't even imagine. So how in the world do we prepare young people for jobs that we can't even fathom ourselves? Well, that's where entrepreneurial mindsets come in. By building and cultivating these mindsets in young people, you are giving them the ability to be successful no matter what path they choose, whether they want to start their own business or whether they want to go to work for somebody else. You're giving them all of the options. So great, Toy. I love the idea of mindsets and I like what you're saying. But as a teacher, please tell me, what exactly do I have to do? Well, what I'm asking you to do is just one thing. You do just one thing this year, just one thing next year. You tweak a lesson, you tweak a unit, you just do one small thing that brings in those entrepreneurial mindsets each year. The reason I say just do one thing is because essentially what we're trying to do is break bad habits or change habits of mind. So in order to form a new habit or break an old one, you have to do something consistently over time. So by giving kids these little aha experiences this year and then one next year and then one the next year, what you're doing over time is building those intrinsic entrepreneurial mindsets that will serve kids for a lifetime. We'll start with just one simple example that you could use in your classroom right away to start bringing in those entrepreneurial mindsets. An exercise I love to do with teachers is called What Makes You Mad? And this exercise looks at some point in your curriculum where you get a little frustrated about teaching. For example, oh no, here comes fractions and decimals. This is always a hard week. I'm really dreading it. You know, I've brought in pizza, I've cut up fruit. I don't know what to do to make this make sense to kids. So let's take that, tweak it a little bit to add an entrepreneurial layer, making it more fun for kids, making it more relevant for kids. Kids will learn it to a deeper depth of knowledge, and bonus, you might enjoy teaching it as well. I'll now expand on the mathematics, fractions, and decimals example with a great illustration from one of our teachers. So here is just about the cutest real life example you could ever ask for. This teacher was able to teach fractions and decimals by bringing in food, giving kids a big quantity of food and having them portion it out, parts of a whole, fractions, and also cost it out to figure out how they could make a return on their investment, how much they could sell it for, how much profit they could make, all of those good entrepreneurial skills, but in the context of fractions and decimals. Those kids will never forget this lesson. And oh my goodness, it couldn't be cuter. I'll give you another example that comes from English language arts. In about ninth grade, in English language arts class, kids start having to learn creative and persuasive writing. What better way to do this than to add this entrepreneurial layer and talk about creative and persuasive writing in the terms of advertising and social media? Have kids craft messages on Facebook, Twitter, have them use other text types like media or visual imagery. Have them be really concise in their persuasive messages or creative messages because they have to use these smaller formats that only allow for so many words. What a great way for them to learn this, never forget it, and have fun with it too. Those are a couple of examples that you could use in your classroom if you wanted to, but you get the idea. It's not that hard to tweak a lesson to make it more entrepreneurial. Next, we're going to hear from a teacher that's been doing this for a long time. So remember, this is the end game. If you're just starting out, just do one thing. Let's listen to what one of our teachers has to say.
Hi, I'm Marga Golden. I'm from Mobile, Alabama, and teach second grade at Mary B. Austin Elementary School. One success that my kids were able to showcase was their fairy tale market day, where kids were learning the reading standards, social studies standards, their math skills with learning about money, and learning about supply and demand. It teaches them so many different real world skills that they can take from the classroom and apply to their real life.
As you can see, to become an entrepreneurial school or become an entrepreneurial educator, it just takes adding an entrepreneurship layer to something that you're already doing and making it more relevant for students, giving them a deeper learning experience and building those intrinsic entrepreneurial mindsets that will serve these young people for the rest of their lives. We look so forward to working with your school. If you have any questions, please contact us directly. Thanks for sticking around for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.